Hello everyone and welcome to another SpottoCash judging session where a cash winner will be announced from the famous old game of Spot the Ball that we have updated, revolutionised and modernised to our online version, that's SpottoCash, and these are the three judges for this week's SpottoCash game that you've been playing all week. Let's meet them. First of all, Mr. Gary Hopkins.
Hi, Gary Hopkins, level 7 referee, qualified 2005.
Fantastic. And Mr. John Ratcliffe.
John Ratcliffe, level 5 senior referee, London Football Association, famous weekend, 42 years now referee.
Ooh, it's getting bigger every week. And Mr. Alasdair King.
Yep, Alasdair King, London senior county referee, been refereeing for 12 years.
Great stuff. Three very experienced referees on our panel today, and everyone at home, just want to say thank you so much for playing this past week. You've been playing all week, and entries closed last night at midnight, as they always do, and we're back here on a Monday to pick a winner. So prepare yourself. £10,000 is going to be going to a winner very, very soon, and £100 to 10 runners up as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that at the end. You ready to get started, guys?
Yes,
all right, let's click in and have a look at this week's image.
Oh.
Some great initial reactions there, but we won't get anything else from you guys. We're going to leave you to silently begin your first part of judging. Everyone at home, our three referees are now going to get stuck into individually deciding where the centre of the ball will be in the image that they're looking at. And after they've decided that, all three of their spots will be transferred onto one screen and they will have an equally weighted decision to come up with the final winning pixel. But for now, we're going to leave them to it and let them decide that first spot. Okay, as our judges wrap up that first placement of that first position, I'm just going to say congratulations to last week's winner. That was Dean Mackay. Dean won £10,000 and we had 10 runners up as well who all won £100. I hope you're all playing this week. Everyone at home, you can see whether you're going to be, like Dean, £10,000 richer very, very shortly. Guys, are we all happy with the first placement that you've gone through?
Yeah.
Gary, happy?
Yeah.
John, happy? Yeah. And Ali's happy? Good stuff. Okay, well, if you guys can all sit back, I'm just going to ask you start with Gary. What was your first thoughts on this image? Obviously, two heads essentially and a roof.
Two heads and not a lot of other reference points on it. Nothing to really gauge in terms of what stage it is in terms of the ball approaching or leaving, whether it's been headed or not headed. It could be that he's already headed the ball, or it could be that it's still to come. What is quite clear is that the player with the pink and brown strip is off the ground, whereas the other player appears to just be in watching mode. What I'm trying to decide as to whether he has actually already headed the ball or whether it's about to arrive.
Certainly looks like a desperate facial expression there. John, what was your impression?
This is obviously, they've got two eye lines here, the key, but also I think we've got to look at this player here, and as Gary says, is he going up or is he coming down? So I'm looking for clues in the shirt here. There is maybe a clue here in the arm, because look at the air, it's trapped at the top part. Now that would indicate that perhaps he's on his way down, which if that is the case, he's headed the ball, and that might help us.
Okay, and Ali, what were your thoughts then?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. There's two clear eye lines. You know, is the player with the pink and the maroon shirt, they're getting a little tug potentially? Pulling him down was one thing that I thought. You can't actually see from the screen. The player's frowning, so this ball's dropping. It's somewhere up above the head of the player with the pink shirt. And I think the discussion will be really exactly how high and exactly where on the x-axis that is.
Yeah, a difficult one, because there seems to, the usual elements that you guys might go for in determining height and things like that are actually sort of missing from this picture. So it will be a difficult one. Very interesting to see what you guys go for. Let's get you all locked in and transfer through to the final round of judging. Everyone at home, our three judges will now lock in their three positions, and they will all transfer onto John's screen in the centre, but they will all have an equally weighted decision as to where that final pixel will be.
All right, let's start judging. Oh, crikey. Well, different today, and it's going to be very interesting. I thought, Ali, you brought in an interesting one there, which I hadn't thought about, in terms of if this player is pulling, if this player here is pulling this player down, then of course the ball may not have arrived. So hence, you know, you've gone into a position to perhaps indicate that. I was reading it that the ball had been headed, but if he's being pulled down, it will give the same impact on the shirt here as coming back down from heading the ball. So that's an interesting one. So, Ali, I'll come to you first on this one because you've come in with a slightly different synopsis of what's going on.
Yeah, so you know the iris you can see from the player in the pink shirt there. He's looking straight up. He's frowning. So I think there's still a little bit of time before that ball drops in his head, and that's why I've gone there. If you look at the eye line of the other player, it kind of works. So that's my reasoning for that.
Yeah, thank you. Gary, you've come much closer there.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think the ball hasn't arrived there?
I think actually the ball has arrived. He has headed it. What I was also thinking was that he appears to be much more falling backwards, and therefore it means that the likelihood of his being directly looking at the ball is lesser. The player who's stable, the player who's behind him, has got a slightly different eye line. It seems to be a lower eye line than him. They don't seem to intersect this week. Often that's the case. We can look at the two players and find a point where actually both of them are looking. I don't think you can on this one. So I've gone with a player who's actually grounded. To say that there's a possibility he may have been pulled back, and therefore I'll give him more credibility to his eye line.
Right, so you think that this player, and if you look at that player, you've got a direct eye line with this player, and
Correct.
you feel that this player, for whatever reason, is not now actually looking directly at the ball.
Correct.
Okay, this is a really tricky one, gentlemen, because we've got two different scenarios which are quite possible here today. Do we go with this player, or do we go with this player in terms of the eye line? Let's sort that out first. I'll come back to you, Alistair. What do you think here? Which one are we going to go with?
I mean, you know, just being contrarian to what you said there, Gary, if he has headed that ball, would his face look like that with the ball so close to his head? Or would he have his eyes maybe closed? You know, would he have... Is that the gesture that you would expect? Because I don't think it is. I think that the ball would need to be further away for him to have reopened his eyes like that, and then...
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
I think, you know, we need to that point, John, we need to decide whether the ball's dropping or whether it's been headed already.
I think, as I said initially, I think the ball's been headed and he's on his way back down. What brought the doubt into me was when you said that perhaps he's been pulled down, but there is a distance there. I don't think that is the case, actually. Looking at this arm here, I don't think he's been pulled down, otherwise there'd be more tension there. Possibly. I think he's headed the ball, he's on his way down, and so if that is the case, I don't think the ball can be there, Gary.
No. Okay.
So therefore, it's a question of how high we go from here. Taking the eye line of this player as being crucial. This one is gone because he's headed it. So he was looking at where the ball was. It's now been headed half a second later, so it's in there. We're very close together there, aren't we, with height? So if we take the fact that we've gone very similar with height there, the ball's been headed. If I was to go between the two spots here, let's see if we can get it somewhere in that sort of scenario. That seems to be fairly perfect to me. If we're then saying that this is the key player, and you know, there is a degree of judgment here. We've looked at the evidence, so this is a key. This arm now comes into it. I think we are saying that it isn't a pull down. So therefore, this is indicating with the way the arm is extended, plus the air bubble there in the sleeve, is on his way down. And so, therefore, we're going to disregard that one today, Gary, because it wouldn't be there if he's headed it. And we'll go with the ball being headed, using the eye line of this player here, and come up with where the ball is for today's judgment. What do you feel, gentlemen? I'll come to you first.
I'm happy to be corrected on this. I think there's the possibility it could be where I've put it, but equally, I think with the arguments you presented, I think more likely where you've put it.
Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that decision, John.
Okay, I'm happy that is where the ball is for today's competition.
Fantastic. Okay, well, everyone at home, prepare yourselves. We're about to lock in this final placement and someone will be £10,000 richer. So, John, let me know when the pixel's selected.
The pixels this week are X918Y569. That's X918Y569.
X918Y569. Okie doke, here we go.
So the £10,000 winner today is Chloe Speller from the United Kingdom.
Chloe Speller, congratulations, you have just won £10,000. And the pixel, please, John?
X918Y567.
Ooh, fantastic. Just a couple of pixels off there on one of the axes. Absolutely fantastic. Chloe, congratulations. You've just won £10,000. Amazing. Great job. I'm sure you're absolutely jumping for joy right now. And also 10 runners up. You are going to find out right now. Here are your names. There you go. 10 runners up. Congratulations to you. I do hope you'll invest those that £100 into Spotto points and get back in the race and try and be like Chloe and £10,000 richer this time next week. Guys, thanks again. A very difficult image, but once again, drawing on all your experience as referees to come to a very precise and well thought through final placement of that pixel. And we've made someone at home very, very happy once again. Another £10,000. Guys, this week, please go and play. Make sure you're in it to win it. This is the image you're going to be playing. Here it is. Ooh, another great image there, and we look forward to coming to deliberate that one next week as well. Judges, thank you so much once again. Everyone at home, thanks for playing. Play this week, and we'll see you next time. Good luck. Goodbye.